Hello, friends. So, this is one of those episodes that you're gonna love, and I am so excited to share it with you. This is an interview about raw food with Misfit Vegan herself, Jeanette D'Onofrio. She is awesome, and I am so excited for this conversation. She's got some great content on YouTube, so I think she's going to have a lot of awesome things to share with us. So let's get started. Jeanette, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your kind words. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. You're very inspirational to me in like this little journey that we're on.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Awesome. So I think you've been raw vegan for over a decade. So would you be able to share like what made you get started, why this lifestyle, what made you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went raw in 2011, and it really was not like I wasn't expecting it to be a long-term decision. I just tried it. I had tried everything else. So, I tried all these crazy diets, Atkins and Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and counting my calories and starving, liquids only, baby food diet, grapefruit diet, eggs only, like protein only. I tried everything. And I was always trying to lose weight. I was always trying to clear my skin with, prescriptions and topical creams. The main thing I wanted to do was have clear skin because I had really bad acne. So I had a whole host of random health problems, but I didn't have anything, terminal. So I was never diagnosed with, a disease, but I had a really bad stomach aches and head migraines and, skin issues. And like I said, acne. And I was overweight. I was almost 200 pounds and I'm 5'3".
Wow,
So, yes. So I tried the raw food diet in 2011 and I felt so good that I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. And then all the health benefits came. But really, what inspired me to keep going for 14 years now is because it's just so much easier, in my opinion, from my experience, to eat raw than it is to eat unhealthy food. Because when I was eating unhealthy food, I was feeling like shit. Sorry if I curse, I'm sorry about that, but
okay.
you can beep it out. But like I was feeling like so depressed and low and bloated all the time and constipated, and my back was killing me, and I had knee issues, and I was constantly having migraine headaches. And it's like now it's so much easier to be raw because now I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. So when people tell me that it's hard to be raw, I mean, I always tell them, honestly, it's harder to be sick. It's harder to be overweight. I'm on being honest. So yeah, that's why I went raw in back in 2011.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How have you found it to be? Was it a challenge or did you feel like it was something that was pretty smooth for you?
Great question. Over the years, there has been many, many challenges. I've done many things wrong, and I've learned from my mistakes. I didn't really have a mentor. I did have, okay. So somebody introduced me to the raw food diet in 2011, but he was never raw. He just knew about it and he was like, I think you should try this because I was telling him one day, I'm on this baby food diet. I can only eat baby. And he was like, why don't you try a raw food diet? You're basically eating raw. And I was like, what? What's that? And he was like, yeah, there's a lot of benefits. Look up this guy, David Wolf. And I had a mentor, but he was not eating raw. So like I didn't have anyone that really knew what they were doing. So like I made so many mistakes and it was very challenging in the beginning. But lucky for me, I didn't give up. It's like so many of us, we just give up at the first sign of challenge in all areas of our life. And if you give up, then you're never going to get anywhere if you keep giving up. And that's like the biggest lesson in my life because I still give up sometimes with things like fitness. I just started staying consistent with fitness because I kept giving up. So with the raw food diet, yeah, the biggest challenge for me personally was watching my friends and family get sick and not care and not realize it's a lot of our health is determined by what we eat. And that is truly the hardest thing. The food is easy. Fruit is available anywhere you go in the world. Okay. Or well, definitely in the United States. anywhere. And so it's very easy once you know how to do that, once you know the quantities you need and how to pick out your fruit. But the challenge is definitely, yeah, social and watching your friends and family be sick and not really care. The social thing, listen, I mean, after a while, you're going to start to realize that nothing's going to change if you keep going along to get along. And if you keep going out unprepared, going to restaurants thinking you're going to find some amazing salads at TGI Fridays. You know, if you keep thinking that you're going to go to these restaurants and something amazing is going to be there for you as a raw vegan, I mean, you're living in a fantasy. You've got to eat before you go to restaurants, or you got to bring your own food. I always bring my own food. And so that quickly became, it was a challenge, but I quickly realized, okay, well, if I'm going to stay raw, I have to do something to stay raw. Like the restaurant is not going to take care of me. My friends and family are not going to take care of my raw diet. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say that it's a kind of thing that is a gradual change that you would do, or like, would you say cold turkey is the way to do it?
Yes, cold coconut because we're all vegans here, right?
That
So
is,
now, yeah, yeah.
you're right.
So so now that is yeah, that's a good point. My personality is 100% in. Let's go. Like I'm in and I'm not looking back because there's nothing back there for me personally. I tried eating every other way. Like personally, I tried a healthy vegetarian diet. I tried everything in moderation. I tried to eat like everyone else, and it didn't work for me. I was suffering. I was overweight. I had acne and I had migraines and all these things, IBS and stuff. And I constantly was getting sick, bronchitis. And like, so, like, I tried. So I tried the raw food diet, went all in. But I have a lot of friends and clients all over the world that, like, that doesn't work for them. You know, we all have different personalities, we'll all have different taste buds, we all have different ways of of doing things. So if you're not an all or nothing person, that doesn't mean it's, you know, you can't be healthy. That means, you know, if you want to gradually go to a raw food diet, then you start with breakfast and you say, okay, for 21 days I'm going to eat fruit for breakfast. Okay. And in Fit for Life, which is an amazing book that I recommend, he talks about fruit till noon. You just say, okay, 21 days, I'm giving myself, I'm going to do fruit till noon. I'm whatever I eat for lunch and dinner, I'm not going to feel bad about it. Okay, maybe I'll eat raw sometimes for lunch and dinner, but I am 100% in for 21 days, just breakfast. And anybody can do that, whether it's a smoothie or a smoothie bowl or fruit, a big fruit salad, whatever you want, right? So that is what I'd recommend if you can't, if you don't want to do all or nothing, like if you don't want to go full in on the raw food diet. Some people it's easier. Like for me, it was so much easier to just be all in because if I have a little bit of something, I don't eat a little bit of anything. Okay. If I eat two French fries, I'm eating all the French fries. I'm not that type of person that can have a little bite of chocolate and then put it away. And then in 2 months, I'll have another bite. Like I'm eating the whole chocolate bar. So, like, with me, it's like the raw food diet has saved my life because everything I eat, I can eat as much as I want until I'm satisfied. And I don't have to feel guilty about it. And I don't have to worry about being unhealthy or gaining weight or anything. So, yeah, those are my suggestions as far as, if you want to go all in, you can do it. If you want to gradually do it, you start with breakfast. Then in 21 days, you say, okay, for 21 more days, I'm doing breakfast and lunch raw. And maybe dinner's going to be healthy sometimes, sometimes not. Gradually, get into the, raw vegan bathtub. Like when you get into a bathtub, if it's like not warm or you get into the ocean and it's not warm, you're like freezing cold. But after you get in, you're totally fine. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome advice. Um, would you, when you actually first went raw, did you experience any like detox symptoms? What was the hardest part for you?
Okay, so yeah, when I first went raw, about a month later, I started coughing and I couldn't stop. I had a really bad mucus and it seemed like I had the flu. But I didn't have at that point, I was researching nonstop and I was learning about health. And so I wasn't going to go to a doctor because I'm learning that like doctors actually, they don't really know what is going on with the human body. Like they're pill pushers, like they're prescription pill pushers. So like we have to take our health into our own hands at this point. And maybe you can find an amazing doctor, but like I didn't have one, you know? So um I was sick and everybody around me was like recommending things, ginger, echinacea, this and that, turmeric, and I was trying everything, oil of oregano. I tried everything and I couldn't stop coughing and I got really, really sick. And then somebody recommended I go get a colonic. And at this point, I didn't want to do that because I didn't know what that was. Okay. And I didn't want, and then I started researching what it was. And I was like, I definitely don't want to do that. What? But I got so desperate that I said, you know what? Fuck it. I got to do something. So I went and I got a colonic. And an hour later, the cough went away. And I was coughing for a while. Like, I can't remember how long, but it was probably like over a month. So after a month of eating raw, I started detoxing real bad. And then I was coughing for like a month. And I'm talking about I couldn't sleep. I couldn't barely eat. I couldn't talk. I'm a cashier and nobody wanted to come to my register because I look like I have like AIDS or something. I'm like coughing nonstop and germs everywhere. And I didn't know what to do. And yeah, somebody actually asked if I had AIDS, like no joke, because I looked really like I was dying. Okay, so anyway, um, the colonic saved my life. The mucus that was building up, that was trying to get out of my body, it was too fast. I went 100% raw. So for me, no, I should have gradually gone raw, but my personality is like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not doing anything gradually. I like to go all in. So yeah, it would have been smarter to do it slowly, but in life, sometimes you just got to take the life preserver and jump in the boat and go. Okay. Because if I'm slowly going to a raw food diet, I'm never going. I'm never going. I can't eat in moderation. I have an addictive personality. I can't eat just one French fry. So, anyway, long story short is that helped me so much. And I got 4 colonics 4 weeks in a row and I never got sick again. I mean, yeah, once in a while I get like under the weather. I got COVID twice, but it was only a few days, like no real symptoms. I just felt like, uncomfortable when I was breathing. Like I'm not like a superhero, superwoman here, right? Like you can still get sick, but it's not going to be anything like the past when we were down for, weeks and all these things. And so yeah, the detox was very bad for me. A lot of mucus, I ate a lot of dairy in my childhood, a lot of unhealthy food, a lot of Dunkin' Donuts and KFC. And so yeah, that mucus was real bad. And I was really constipated as well as a raw vegan. And that is because I was eating a lot of nuts and a lot of raw vegan gourmet food. In New York City, I would go every day to a raw vegan restaurant. And this is an important point that I want everyone to understand. I needed that. I needed to not make my own food. I needed to not eat all fruit. I needed to enjoy the raw food diet because if you don't enjoy something, there's no way that you can stick to it long enough to see the results. So if I would have gone all fruit, or had like, lots of green juice or like salads and fruit only, I would have fallen off. I would have gone right back to McDonald's and M&Ms and KFC and stuff. So I personally found the way that worked for me in the beginning, which was, lots of, I was eating, raw vegan Oreos, raw vegan burgers. I was eating all the raw vegan pizza and stuff. And then I had like the treats, the chocolate, dates with almond butter inside. And then maybe a salad once in a while, maybe some fruit, but mostly it was gourmet stuff. And that really helped because I was used to fast food. And this was like satisfying and salty. There was lots of salt and oil and nuts and seeds, and that was great for me. And then eventually I realized, okay, well, I don't feel great on this. Let me research and find out like what am I doing wrong? And I realized I wasn't eating a lot of fruit and vegetables. I was raw, but I wasn't eating fresh
Mhm.
fruit and vegetables. And that is the secret. And I didn't look good as a raw vegan, to be honest. My hair was really thin. I didn't have any, like, I was really pale in New York. I mean, like now I'm in Miami, so I get a lot of sun and stuff, right? I look like healthier. But I was bloated all the time. And that's because I didn't know how to do the raw food diet. I was, I was really fooling myself thinking I was like the healthiest person on earth. But I was a lot healthier than I used to be. So anyway, over time, I realized how to do it right. And now I'm just coasting through life. And it is just such a dream to not have to worry about my food, my weight, my health. And I want that for everyone. And that is why I put myself out there. That's why I started my YouTube in 2017, because I want to help people know that this is possible. And you definitely don't have to be 100% raw to be 100% healthy. That is my biggest mission in life, is to just inspire people to eat more fruit, so they can be more cute. So yeah, that's it.
I like that. So what does your diet actually look like right now?
Yeah. So this morning for breakfast, I had persimmons, a lot of persimmons in the winter.
I had persimmons for the first time last week. Oh my goodness. I had to buy more, like so good.
So good. I call them the mangoes of the winter.
Yeah.
Okay. They are so good. And nature is just so kind to us because every season contains amazing fruit. Okay. So in the winter, we got the persimmons to save us. Okay. And then, right now, so I'm doing a lot of persimmons here. I'm living in Miami. So I'm very blessed. I get to eat, like mame sapote, sapodilla. I eat a lot of like jackfruit and durian. I'm going to a durian party on Saturday. Is a blessing. How do you feel about the durian?
Oh my God. I desperately want to try it.
You
I'm going to
know,
Bali next month. I'm hoping that I'll be able to be have my fill of some durian.
where do you live?
I live outside Boston, Mass.
Okay, okay. Oh, it's kind of far. Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
going to a durian party in Fort Myers, Florida, so that's a little far. But the durian I really recommend. Some people say you can get it in Costco, in the freezer section, and they have the Musan King. If you find, it's called Musan King, Musang King durian. This one has never let me down because I know this is not a durian show, but I just wanted to say that, all durian tastes different, and some durian has been gross and some durian has been amazing. And the durian that has never let me down is Musan King. So try to find that one in your local Asian market, or, Boston for sure you can find durian. New York, Chinatown, definitely. And then let me know what you think. But yeah, so my diet is fruit for breakfast, whatever I want. Sometimes it's grapes, sometimes it's persimmons or a melon or whatever it is. Then for lunch, it's usually fruit. Today I happen to have a smoothie because I was running, I was rushing, I did not have time to eat, so I just put 5 bananas in a blender. I put a bunch of strawberries, some hemp seeds, and some water. Blended it up. That was lunch. And then for dinner, I'm gonna have a little bit of fruit before my dinner, and then I have a big, big salad with lots of greens, avocado, an amazing dressing, and I feel satisfied. Now, sometimes I'm still hungry because I haven't eaten, enough during the day. So after dinner, if I'm still hungry, I'll have fruit for dessert. And that's what I did last night. I was still hungry after my salad, so I had 2 apples with, like, I make this really cool caramel from dates, vanilla, and a little bit of Himalayan pink salt, and it tastes just like caramel. So I dip the apples in there, and yeah, so that's how I eat.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And isn't the abundance of nature amazing? Like the variety of fruit that exists, and like anyone that says it's boring, like you've never adventured into the world of like so many fruits. Like it's a gift.
It is. There's 80,000 fruits for us. I mean, we don't get access to all of those, but like in the world, there's 80,000 types of fruit. And like you could literally eat one fruit every single day of your life and never try them all. And yeah, I had to learn new places to shop. I had to learn what you just said, which is there's a lot of variety in the raw food diet, but like not at Key Food. Okay, if people don't know what Key Food is, that's like a supermarket in Brooklyn. Do they have that in Boston?
No, not that I
No. Okay, no. So like not at your local supermarket. They're gonna have the same things. But if you go to like an Asian market or any type of like ethnic market, oh my God, you will find treasures, and you'll find like longans, and you'll find rambutan and this durian we talked about. And you'll just be amazed at the flavors, and you can still eat healthy and have variety. So, I have to have jackfruit and these different fruits because otherwise I'm not going to be able to stay raw on apples and bananas and grapes. Like, sorry, like you said, like I need variety, I need some excitement, I need some flavors. So, yeah. And then also, figuring out what you like and simple recipes that you really love. That really helped me a lot. I didn't know that it was possible to have simple dressings that were easy to make, simple stuff. In the beginning, I was eating so many gourmet things because I didn't know how easy it could be to make this stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true, so true. So to switch gears a little bit, like the the standard American diet, it's like I would love to hear your thoughts because the it's a tragedy, in my opinion, that so many people choose that life.
Yes. Yeah. Um, if you eat a standard diet, you're going to get the standard illnesses that everybody has. And I know that you, just like me, you probably have people in your family and in your friend group that have dis-ease in their body, whether they know it or not. They feel it. Pains, maybe diabetes. Everybody knows somebody that has cancer or passed away from cancer. And that is the standard. That is the normal. And so, it is very strange to eat a raw food diet. It is. But that's what it takes to break free from the norm. What's normal is dis-ease. What's normal is just to go along with what everyone else is doing, and then you will get what everyone else has. A body they don't like, a body that feels uncomfortable, pain, depression, disease, taking prescription pills that make everything worse because there are horrible side effects to all these pills that we take. And the crazy thing is that they tell us this. Like when you get the pills, it comes with a big pamphlet of all the side effects. We don't even fucking read it because we're like, no, 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 they would never do that to us. We go to the store, you go to a drugstore, you can find, M&Ms and all these things, and we buy them thinking that they're fine because they wouldn't be for sale if they weren't fine for us. But like you just said, it's a tragedy because everything in the store that isn't made from fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds is like poison to the body. And there's different levels of poison, right? So okay, so you eat rice. Is rice the same as a Snickers bar? No. Okay, but it's different levels of poison. Okay. Rice is going to clog you up. Whatever clogs you up accumulates in the body. Constipation is the precursor for all disease. So yeah, the rice is poisoning your body. The Snickers bar is way worse, containing all types of horrible chemicals that affect the brain, that affect the nervous system, the heart, the lungs, everything. And we eat, and the crazy thing is that we eat shit, and then we are wondering why do we feel like shit? We eat unhealthy, and then we wonder why am I so unhealthy? I'm so young. You know, it's like I'm so young. My mom and my grandparents, they lived, so much longer than me and they didn't feel like this one. Yeah, because they weren't eating the horrible processed foods that we have now. When our grandmothers said eat everything in moderation, they were not alive when we had the chemicals in the food that we have today. We cannot eat in moderation. It is impossible because they have designed foods to addict us. They have designed foods to stimulate centers of our brain that light up with dopamine and all types of other chemicals that make us addicted. And we have zero willpower, does not work. We have zero defense against these things. It's not fair. So, like, for me to sit here and say it's so easy to be raw, I'm just letting everyone know that, yeah, now it's easy. But in 2011, it was not. I was fighting. It was horrible. And what really helped, like I said, was getting a colonic. Um, and I recommend, gravity method, closed system colonics personally. That's the only kind I've ever had.
Can
That
you
helped.
tell us what a colonic is?
Oh, yes. Yes. So a colonic is when it's like a shower, it's a shower for your butt. Okay. So it cleans out the large and some of the small intestine through water. So they have a tube and they put it up your butt, but only 1 or 2 inches. Okay. And then it doesn't hurt at all. And what happens is for an hour, water's going into your colon and water and poop and old decaying fecal matter is coming out. Have you had a colonic yet?
Sure have.
Oh, yes. So listen, it's not like the most fun thing on earth, but it's sometimes necessary because we have eaten very unnatural things. So there's really no natural ways to get it out besides irrigation, which, by the way, they mention in the Bible many times, colonics and enemas. They mention these things. So this was natural. This was a very normal practice long ago before we had big pharma and all these doctors and all these prescription pills. Now, if you go to a doctor, he's not going to tell you to get a colonic. He's going to tell you to take a prescription pill. But back in the day, before 1910, every doctor recommended a colonic. They actually had those machines in the doctor's offices. If you were sick, if you were constipated, if you had headaches, if you had the flu, you would get a colonic. And if you were still sick the next day, then the doctor would see you. So that is something that I've used. I've had probably about 30 colonics in the last 14 years. I had a few in the beginning, a lot in the beginning, and now I have about once a year. Or if I ever get sick, I would have a colonic. And it's just a really, really fast way to release the old, rotting, decaying fecal matter that is poisoning us from the inside out. And my skin got better. Like within 24 hours, my skin was totally different. I had such oily, acne laden skin. It was horrible. I had eczema all over my body. And 24 hours later, and I'm just such a big believer in colonics because they helped me so much. So I whether you're eating raw or not, I would highly recommend checking it out. Only gravity method closed system though, because there's an open system and it doesn't do as much as a closed system. And so you don't go to sleep. It's not a procedure. It's not a big deal. It's just a little scary the first time. You don't know what to expect. So you watch YouTube videos and you see that it's not a big deal at all. It's not like a colonoscopy. You don't have a camera up there. You don't have to drink anything. Um, and yeah, so anyway, I have seen a lot of people heal from the raw food diet. But I see people that do colonics, they get results faster, way faster. Especially because I don't believe in juice cleanses. I don't believe in water fasting, to be honest. And I really am not a big fan of herbs. So the colonic is really my supplement for, to help with detox on the raw food diet.
And why don't you believe in juicing?
I believe in juicing.
Like
I
juice
like to,
fasting,
yeah,
let's say.
yeah. I like juice, but a juice fast to me, and this is just my opinion, it's the fastest way to fall off a healthy diet. Because, if you're going to starve yourself, if you're going to really like restrict and say, no, I don't care what I'm craving. If I want an avocado, no, I am drinking juice only. And it's like you're setting yourself up to be miserable and hungry and just fall off. And that's what happens with most people. I would say 99% of people that go on a juice cleanse fall off and go back to processed foods and dead animal body parts. 1% of the population stays raw. And I'm part of that 1% because I went on many, many juice cleanses. And thank God, yeah, I didn't fall off. But let me tell you, I went on a 35-day juice cleanse in 2008 and I was so miserable. I was so hungry. I just wanted to chew something. I just wanted to chew. I was like, can I just have a, a cucumber, like a piece of I just need to chew. So finally, I got off the juice cleanse. I wanted to go 40 days. I went 35. And then I lost 20 pounds in a month. And as a raw vegan, 100% raw, I gained 40 pounds in the next 3 months as a raw vegan because I just couldn't stop eating. And fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, they have calories, right? So if you eat way too much, you're going to gain weight. And I gained 40 pounds. And I can't even tell you like how frustrating it was because I couldn't believe that you could gain weight as a raw vegan and it messed up my metabolism. And ever since then, I've been like going back to that weight that I wanted to be at, but like it really messed up my metabolism to be starving myself. And I was drinking lots of juice, but I wanted to eat. My body didn't want juice. So nothing wrong with juice, but restriction on a raw food diet is going to set you up for failure. You must enjoy it. That's what I'm trying to say. You must enjoy it. If you are fully enjoying the juice cleanse, fully, like you're not craving any food, you feel amazing, like you do not want to eat a salad, you do not want to eat an apple, okay, keep going. But I would say if you want to eat an apple, like you got to eat the apple, or else you're going to be eating a Snickers bar as soon as you get off that juice cleanse. So that's why.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the raw food diet on its own has so many like healing benefits, and it's amazing. Could you speak to how, being raw affects your health?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a great point. I'm actually going to read all the things that I reversed or healed on a raw food diet, okay? Because I wrote a list.
Of
And
course.
basically, the point is that, well, I just want to recap the juice cleanse thing. Yeah, juice is super healthy. But 30 days of a juice cleanse is nothing compared to a year on a raw food diet, 2 years on a raw food diet, 10 years on a raw food diet. And it just keeps compounding. And like you said, the raw food diet is so healing, but it must it takes time because nature takes time. Nature's not quick in doing anything, really. Everything that is worth having takes time. Okay. So the things that I healed following a raw food diet is number one is my cystic acne. I had acne on my face and my body from the age of 13 to 26. Second was my depression. I had a really bad depression. I had suicidal thoughts. It was really bad for me before I went raw. And so that's another reason why I can't go back to eating cooked food because it really affects my mind. I'm very sensitive at like most people that come to this lifestyle, we're sensitive to energy and the food has energy. Okay, so if you're eating the energy of an animal that was tortured and raped and slaughtered, you're going to and scared, you're going to feel anxiety, you're going to feel depressed, you're going to feel scared. Number three is chronic fatigue. I had chronic fatigue from the age of 16 to 26. IBS, okay, chronic back pain, severe knee pain. I had a benign bone tumor on my kneecap, and it was not like anything, it was not cancerous, but like I was told that I had to get surgery on it or else I'm going to be in pain for the rest of my life. When I went raw, the pain went away and I've never felt it again. And I still have the bone that was hurting me, but now it doesn't hurt anymore. I have the extra bone in my knee. It's so cool. Okay, almost done. Eczema, chronic bronchitis, TMJ. Okay, I had really bad jaw pain starting at the age of 11. That totally went away. Major dental issues before I went raw, and had 21 cavities and 3 root canals before I went raw. And finally, I was constantly suffering from a food addiction. So binge eating disorder and a food addiction. And I could not, and I was also suffering from colds and flus and getting sick all the time, stomach aches. But the food addiction was smothering, and I just could not, I could not live a life that felt worth living having this food addiction because I couldn't stop eating. I couldn't control myself. And I was a secret eater. So, like, I would starve all day. I was known as like the healthiest person. I would go to work, I'd be super healthy. I would eat a salad, and then I would come home and I would eat all night, everything in the house. I didn't even need to like what I was eating. I was a food addict. And so the raw food diet is the only thing that has helped me. And I work with women now to release their food addiction because it was a horrible life. And I want to help anyone that wants my help to get rid of that. That is no way to live, to be hurting yourself with food, to feel guilty about what you're eating, to be harming your body, mind, and spirit through your own fork, through your own addiction is a horrible life and it's not your fault. It's just we've never been taught how to eat. So, of course, I had a food addiction because everyone has an addiction to something if they're not dealing with it, if they're not healthy. So, some people have drug addiction or marijuana addiction or alcohol or whatever. I chose food and it was a nightmare. And I'm just so grateful that I found the way out, and that is the raw food diet. And so, yeah, if anybody wants to work with me, you can reach out. Maybe you can leave my email somewhere, but or my website. But basically, the raw food diet is the only thing that has worked to help me not eat unhealthy food and never ever crave it um, ever again. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned mental health. How how does the raw food diet like impact your mental health?
Yeah, scientifically, I don't know. I would love to see studies on this, but there's not a lot of raw foodists in the world to do these studies, you know? Maybe we can do this one day. But honestly, I know how I felt and like life was really like hard for me as a kid and a teenager and in my 20s, but like so many and I was really depressed, but like so many things have happened since I've gone raw that like definitely would have sent me into a severe depression if I wasn't raw. So I don't really know what's going on, but I do know that the food is highly affecting us. And I know that our gut is our second brain,
Mhm.
right? And so the way our gut feels is the way we're going to feel. And if you're feeling anxious all the time, you've got to look at what you're eating. If you're feeling very depressed, you've got to look at your food choices because, yes, feeling sad is totally normal. And feeling, depression sometimes is normal too. I'm not saying you should never feel depressed, right? Somebody passes away that you love very much. That's going to be very depressing. But there's a difference because I like I experienced people passing away and I'm raw and it was never the depression that I felt before I went raw, if that makes sense. Like the smothering, just like I can't do this. This is overwhelming. I have like I can't deal with this. Like life is too hard and I don't want to be here. I never had those thoughts again ever since going raw. And I mean, so yeah, that I can just tell you from my experience, that absolutely what you eat, your food equals your mood. What you eat is going to affect your mental health. And it's not just your body, your body and your mind is connected. So how you feel is directly in correlation to the food you eat. And some people can eat crappy for a little bit, unhealthy for 10, 20 years, 30 years, but it will absolutely catch up to you. And you know what's funny? This is the last thing I'll say. I noticed I have a few friends that are not healthy at all, and when they eat fast food, they are different. I noticed I know this is a cool case study. I noticed they have less patience, they're snippy, or they have like, a little attitude. And I'm like, wait, what's wrong? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, oh my God, the food. Like I can see the food within 24 hours affect people. And so the opposite happens with the raw food diet because you are eating light from the sun. You know, you're eating a piece of God, created in nature by God. So like, what do you think that energy is? That's the energy of love. So when you eat raw food, you feel like so grateful. You feel blessed. You feel more love in your life. And when you eat food from a factory, created for greed purposes to make you fat, sick, and nearly dead, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to feel depressed, ashamed, guilty, sad, because that's sad food. Back to your question, the standard American diet. Sad food makes you sad. Beautiful food from nature makes you beautiful and happy and feel connected to nature and blessed and grateful. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And health wise, we talked about health, but like one of the big things that people experience is weight loss. Um, and I'm sure that's something that you help your clients with. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, some people experience very quick weight loss. And some people it takes a little bit of time. It really depends on the what is going on in your body because your body is infinitely more intelligent than your mind. Okay, your mind has been corrupted. We have our monkey mind is just, looking for the next shiny thing or, like just distracted by things or just has all these fear-based thoughts or habitual thought patterns, but the body is much more intelligent. And so if you are eating raw and you do not find yourself losing weight, well, maybe it's because the body's focusing on that tumor inside of your spleen. Okay, maybe the body's focusing on that tumor inside your kidney that you don't even know about. So, like, what I tell my clients is if you are eating raw as much as you want, you can eat as much as you want fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. You're moving your body 30 minutes a day, whether that's yoga or walking or whatever it is. and you're not losing weight, but you are overweight, just keep going because the raw food diet works. It works for everyone, okay? But it doesn't, it work, your body works on its own time. And so if you just keep going, one day you're going to wake up and you're not going to believe how much weight you've lost. But if you quit in the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because you haven't lost any weight, well, maybe it's because your body's healing something that is way more important than how much you weigh. All right. So we have to understand that the body's way more, infinitely more smarter than us, more intelligent. And, nature will never let us down. We don't know more than nature. Nature is absolutely, doing what it needs to do. And so that's what the fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds are going to do inside your body. I lost 60 pounds very easily in 2011. But like I said, I did lots of juice cleanses, lots, because for 10 years, I don't know if you're familiar with Organic Avenue or Juice Press. Um,
I'm
we
not.
have a juice press in Boston. Okay, so yeah, I worked for two organic cold press juice companies from 2012 until 2020. So almost 10 years of my life. I was surrounded by juice and people cleansing and just juice cleanses constantly. So, and they gave them to us for free. Like we could do free juice cleanses. So I was always juice cleansing. And what happened was, is that I would lose a bunch of weight and then I would gain a bunch of weight back. Like I said, lose 20 pounds, gain 40. And so, like, after you do all these juice cleanses and these water fasts and these starvation diets, eating very little calories or serious intermittent fasting, one meal a day, your body, your metabolism gets fucked up and your body doesn't know if you're going to starve again. So your body starts to hold on to as many calories as possible because it might starve. It doesn't know what the hell is going on. All right. So that's another reason I do not ever recommend a juice cleanse or a water fast unless like absolutely necessary. Like you have a severe stage 4 cancer diagnosis and you've tried raw and raw didn't work. Okay, perhaps you need a water fast, but I've never seen it. I've never seen raw food not work. I have many clients that have reversed every type of disease. I wrote a book about it. Okay, it's 100 testimonials of people all around the world that reversed their chronic diseases through raw foods, not through fasting. And the weight loss is going to be harder and harder the more you try to starve yourself because your body doesn't want to go into a famine. And especially if you are a woman, we were designed to give birth and nourish a baby. So, like, women always have issues with losing weight after they fast. They lose lots of weight, they gain it all back, and then their metabolism is super slow. Men may be designed differently. I know they're designed differently because they don't nourish a baby in their uterus. So like they don't even have a uterus, right? So like we can't compare ourselves to all these men in the raw food diet that are water fasting that are promoting these long-term juice cleanses. That's doesn't work for us. I mean, it's never worked for me or anyone I've worked with, but maybe someone out there it is working for them. I've never seen it. I've never seen somebody go on a juice fast, lose all the weight and keep it off and not deal with constant falling off and food addiction and then restricting again and starving and back and forth, up and down. And I just want to say the last thing is I you don't need to live like that. It is exhausting to keep starting and stopping. It's exhausting. I remember it. And you just get all excited and like you join the gym and you buy a calorie tracker from TJ Maxx and you're gonna fill it out and like that was me. I kept buying like new notebooks and I was gonna write everything down that I was gonna eat and then I was gonna juice every single day and I was gonna stop eating by 5 p.m. every day and I was gonna be perfect and I was gonna whatever. And and then you fail and then you're like, "Ugh, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep letting myself down. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why can't I do this?" And the truth is that there's nothing wrong with you. You're just not doing it for your body type, for your personality type. If you love to eat, there's no way that you're going to be able to eat one meal a day or eat 500 calories a day for life. It's not possible. Some people don't like to eat. Okay, good for them. But if you like to eat, then you cannot keep restricting yourself and being miserable and expecting that to last forever. It just doesn't work like that. And what you cannot do forever is a waste of time.
Yeah, you're right. If you can't make it a lifestyle, then there's it's not that there's no point, but you're shooting yourself in the foot.
There is no point because what you just said is the truth. Most people that you see on YouTube or these people that fail, they made it a diet. They went on the raw food diet. But like, if you're going to do this successfully and lose the weight and keep it off and be healthy for life, you have to make it a lifestyle. It's not a diet. Okay. It is not something you go on for 2 months and then you go back to eating McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. No, it's a waste of time, in my opinion, because what was the point of that? You're going to be even worse condition afterwards because your body started to release the poisons and started to feel really good. And then you poison it again. And it's just like you're worse than where you started. You might as well find a way to do what you can to be healthier and enjoy it and make it easy for yourself to be healthy than just restrict and punish yourself and just keep starting and stopping and just keep digging a deeper hole to climb out of. And then the hole is so deep you can't even climb out of it. So, yeah, like you just said, diet versus lifestyle. It cannot be a diet, it has to be a lifestyle.
Yeah, totally, totally. And I think that's one of the hardest things that people don't see. So how do you help your clients?
Called the Food Addiction Freedom Course, and it is for 10 women at a time only. And so I can give them very individualized attention. We work for 6 weeks together. I teach them everything I know. We work out together. We meet on Zoom together twice a week. I have a private community that they come to. And my private community is amazing because it's people that are eating raw or high raw all around the world, mostly women. And like anything, any question you have, any like thing you want to know about, you just ask. And like people have so much information that I don't have. Like there's people that have been raw longer than me. There's people that have researched way more than me. And it's like, it's just so nice to go to a space, have a community of people that like you can ask anything and not be judged and actually get some good advice. Like, should I worry about B12? Do I need to worry about having too many greens? Does that cause, oxalate poisoning? Just these random things that nobody taught us, we were never taught how to eat raw. Okay. So it's really important to have that community. So you get into my community, you have support. And then my favorite thing about the course is, you learn every single thing. But my favorite thing about the course is that you leave with your own accountability partner for life. And that is the secret to staying successful, having a support system, even if it's one other person that is raw, okay, that understands what's going on when, you have to go to a wedding or you go to the holiday dinner and, all these smells and all this delicious food is everywhere and people are trying to pressure you into eating normal food, real food. Okay. Have you ever been pressured into eating real food?
Absolutely. Or they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you don't eat this? Oh, you don't eat this?" Like
Yeah.
I said no animals, so no.
Yeah, no, no. What you got to eat some real food, Jeanette. You're gonna get sick, and that is what I heard for years and years and years until it was obvious that everyone else is getting sick, and I'm not. Like it took 9 years for my mom to stop thinking that I was gonna die, that I was crazy, that I was gonna get a protein deficiency. Like she was literally afraid for my life, and so I really appreciate the loving care because that's all it is. They just care about us. Our friends and family don't want us to die, but like they don't know what they don't know. They don't know that we're actually getting healthier every single day. And most people are getting sicker every single day. They are feeding the disease and we are starving it. Okay. And so, yeah, I really love my course because it helps me to hopefully make a difference in somebody's life. And then I pair them up with somebody who's going to be in their life forever, forever. They meet once a week and they text every day or they get on the phone. I recommend at least once a week. Yeah, and then they get my phone number. They get 6 weeks of 24/7 support from me. You can get on the phone with me or FaceTime 24/7. People are at the store, at the grocery store, and they call me. They're like, Jeanette, is this ripe? How do I know? And I'm like, put me on FaceTime. I don't know. One time it was so cute. You're gonna like this. One of my clients was like, Jeanette, how do I know when a durian's ripe? And I was like, okay, here's how you know, right? I told her And then she's like, I don't see any ones that are opening on the bottom. And I was like, put me on FaceTime. And she's looking at jackfruits. And I was like, I love you so much. Okay, first of all, that's a jackfruit, boo. So please, next time, FaceTime me. And so then I was told her, jackfruits, well, they got to smell. So you got to pick them up and smell them. If they smell from the outside, they're going to taste really good on the inside. They also have to have flat spikes, no spikes for jackfruits. Durian have spikes. Jackfruit cannot have spikes if it's going to be ripe. So anyway, that's some examples of what we do in the course.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what keeps you raw?
Oh, yeah. Okay. What keeps me raw? Well, it is just a habit at this point, and it's really easier to eat raw than it is to cook food because cooked food requires so much more time, equipment that I don't even have. I don't have the pots and pans and the things I don't know recipes. I don't know how to cook. Like, I've forgotten all my old recipes. Um, I don't need to do crazy oily dishes. I don't need to deal with health issues or weight gain or like acne anymore, or stinky farts and all these things. So like it's easy to be raw because first of all, I made it a habit. And once you do something over and over and over again, it gets easier and easier and easier. And now to me, it's the easiest thing in the world because after this, I'm gonna grab some grapes and wash them and then eat them. And like what it's so fast and easy to be raw, once you know how to do it, that you never want to go back because I don't know how people have time to not be raw. I really don't. And like me, maybe that's why, and I'm not trying to be like sounding like a narcissist, but maybe that's why I'm able to write so many books and do so many videos and do all the things that I'm doing because I'm not wasting time cooking food, cleaning up after that, looking up new recipes and like, oh, reading diet books and fucking, all these things that people do to like lose weight and, prepare their unhealthy food and like going to restaurants. I don't like to go to restaurants. They don't have anything for me. I'm sure you know about that. Okay. Like restaurants don't have anything for me. So I don't like to go to restaurants. And so, yeah, what keeps me raw is just simply the fact that it is so easy now and delicious too. I go out of my way to get really good fruit. I'm not shopping at the closest supermarket. I drive 45 minutes to an hour to get my food because I found an amazing place that has amazing ripe fruit. I do not buy anything that's not ripe. If I go to the store and it's not ripe, it's not coming back to my house because I've been raw for 14 years. I have wasted a lot of money. Okay, fruit that's never going to be ripe and doesn't taste good. If it's not ripe, I'm not going to buy it. Everything tastes delicious. I'm not missing out on anything. I feel great. I don't have to worry about my health or my weight. And so to me, there's no better way to live personally.
I like that. I like that. So, Jeanette, this has been awesome.
You're
Amazing,
awesome. Thank you so much.
amazing, amazing. You're great. Where can we find you? I
Yes.
see
Well, thank you
you
very
have
much.
books.
Yes.
You
So
have
you had
social
great.
media.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
You said you have books and social media.
Yes. So you can find me at ms.fitvegan, ms.fitvegan. You can go to my website, www.msfitvegan, misfitvegan.com. There's no dot after MS on my website. So just msfitvegan. And then, yeah, I have a bunch of books. My new one is called The Healing Powers of a Raw Vegan Diet, 100 testimonials from people all around the world that have healed chronic illnesses, lost weight, and all types of things on a raw food diet. And then I also have my beauty book, which I'm really proud of. It's all the natural tips and tricks on how to glow up and be beautiful. And I have my Raw Vegan Excuses series, and I have a bunch more. You can find these books on my website, on Amazon, and anywhere books are sold. And then I'm on social media, Misfit Vegan. Um, Sometimes it's hard for people to find me because of the spelling. So just MS Fit Vegan, you'll find me. And I post every day, videos every day, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any parting words?
Yes, I would just like to say, listen, if you want to be cute, you got to eat fruit. And I just appreciate every single person out there for just trying your best because that's all you need to do. And that's all we can do in this lifetime. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. And It's going to be okay. We can still be healthy, even though we're not perfect. And I like that about the raw food diet. You know, we don't need to be perfect to get the benefits. We just need to do better than we did yesterday and just do our best. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I found it like so helpful, so inspiring. So I hope you did too. Check out my free Facebook group so that you can join the conversation. We can talk more about the raw food lifestyle. Join the community. Also, join my 31-day journaling challenge where you will be able to transform your lifestyle in just 31 days, journaling about everything that you want out of life. Yeah, check it out. Always remember, you're capable of amazing things and you are worthy of your wildest dreams. Until next time.